Now it's my distinct honor to introduce today's convocation speaker, a justice of the Supreme Court of Texas, a proud graduate of the class of 1990, and if I may be so bold, a valued friend and advisor, Justice Jane Bland. Justice Bland has served in the state judiciary for more than a quarter century, joining the state's Supreme Court in 2019. Before that, she served 15 years as a justice on the First Court of Appeals and 6 years as a state district judge in Houston. Justice Bland is as well known and admired for her service as she is for her jurisprudence. Among her many contributions, she serves on the Advisory Committee for the Federal Civil Rules for the Judicial Conference of the United States. She's a member of the American Law Institute. She's the Supreme Court's liaison to the Texas Board of Legal Specialization and to the Texas Supreme Court Historical Society and the court's Rules Advisory Committee. In 2010, Chief Justice John Roberts presented Justice Bland with the William H. Rehnquist Award. It's given to a state court judge who exemplifies the highest level of judicial excellence, integrity, fairness, and professional ethics. She's the recipient of too many awards and accolades and honors for me to begin to mention them all here. As a double Longhorn, she is quite simply an extraordinary public servant and a fine exemplar of the ideals our school and our university seek to promote. Please join me in welcoming Justice Jane Bland.
I had to move the bench. I'm smaller than our other two speakers. Dean Chesney, faculty, family, and loved ones gathered here and online, and most of all, graduates of the class of 2025. Congratulations and well done. Today is a celebration and the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with experiences only a law degree can provide. Thomas Gregory, a lawyer, raised the funds to build this gym in 1930. One of UT's first graduates, he later became Attorney General. By the time I stood in your shoes in 1990, and if you are one of the lucky ones to have been called on by Good, Johansson, Sturley, Silver, Poe, Hu, or Levinson, then perhaps not completely prepared, then I truly have stood in your shoes. Anyway, by 1990, Gregory Gym was no place for a graduation or even a workout. It was not air conditioned, and it stank of sweat. The building had to adapt with a new student-driven version that preserved elements of the old. You are the law school's next generation of lawyers, a UT legacy far more meaningful than a gym. Over the last 3 years, you have adapted to change at an ever-quickening pace in our society, in law, and in your personal lives. The grit and agility you needed to earn a law degree will help you recognize obstacles, but not be defeated by them. Understand different perspectives and overcome blind spots, your clients, and your own. When work is difficult, it can be hard to look past our discomfort in the moment and see that we have gained desirable traits like agility and grit. But as you reflect on the challenges you have overcome in your legal education, I hope you now can see it. It's time to take what you have learned into the world and share it. In Texas, lawyers take an oath to practice integrity and civility in addition to fidelity to the rule of law. The emphasis on integrity recognizes the gravity of the choices lawyers face. Ours is a profession dedicated to resolving problems and conflicts. Our professional lives are about decisions, our own and those made by the ones who depend on our advice. How we frame those decisions can make all the difference. Neuroscientists tell us that a default setting influences behavior. It is why Google Chrome fights so hard with Apple Safari to become your default web browser. People gravitate to the status quo because sticking with it requires less cognitive effort. A default web browser may affect your internet experience, but the consequences of legal decisions are serious and play out across society, including the rules for web browsers. In large measure, legal thinking creates the rules we live by. Legal defaults become the principles that govern conduct for everyone. How does one incorporate integrity as a default in legal decision-making? First, ask questions, knowing that you do not have all the answers. Possess and nurture with a curiosity without preconception. Be open to feedback that questions whether a legal decision is a just one. Second, put others in a position to make good decisions by rooting your legal advice in an honest assessment of the facts. Take what you have learned here at Texas Law, or as I like to call it, UT Law School. Take what you have learned about respect and tolerance into your professional life. Use it to guide your interactions. Over the next decades, you will tackle tough challenges. Working with others, it will be your touch that is embedded in the solutions to these challenges. Third, appreciate that comparisons are odious. People who constantly compare themselves with others, even favorably, find less satisfaction in their work and in life. Even though I'm really, really proud, Sophie, that your class is the one that returned us to the T14. As lawyers, metrics abound. How do my billable hours compare with someone else's? How about my starting salary? Did I obtain the top jury verdict in Texas last year? These measurements can be useful marketing tools, but try not to use them to gauge your value as a lawyer or the value of your work. Our value as lawyers instead is in what we do for others, our clients, our system of justice, and our society. Find that intrinsic value in your daily work. No matter how mundane the task, remind yourself that you are helping another person address a legal problem. Knowing your real value, rather than relentlessly grasping at external benchmarks as a measure of your worth, will help you weather setbacks and begin again in your professional careers. What does this have to do with integrity? In business school, students learn about the fraud triangle of opportunity, incentive, and rationalization. As lawyers, you will be tested by opportunities to act dishonestly. Given the trust that society and our clients place in us, we more than others must resist over-reliance on metrics that pressure us to depart from what we know is right, or use those metrics in a poor attempt to rationalize what we know is not right. The other virtue our oath focuses on is civility. However much we as lawyers may disagree with each other in principle, we must build relationships that allow us to work together productively. When I was your age, I would have not stopped to consider civility as an ideal. But incivility is damaging in unobvious ways. Participants in a study who witnessed rudeness before watching a video of table tennis were far less likely to spot a man in a gorilla costume walking through the frame about halfway through. As lawyers, we are there to spot the gorilla, but merely viewing another's incivility impairs our thinking, compromising our ability to notice critical facts and make good decisions. At the Fifth Circuit Conference earlier this week, a physician who spoke to a group of judges highlighted studies revealing that incivility increases stress, adversely affecting physical health. It is no secret that we have seen a decline in respect for government institutions and the legal profession, and a departure throughout society from civility toward one another. What can we as lawyers do to change this trajectory? First, model civility for others. Foster connections and make colleagues and your adversaries feel heard and respected. Resist the temptation of too much isolation, perhaps especially when you just want to be left alone. Isolation can lead to undue worry, rumination, and the crankiness that leads to incivility. It leads to texts you wish you had never sent. Second, view rudeness in others charitably when you can. This is hard, especially when you're driving in graduation traffic. But remember, rudeness often reflects misplaced stress or an ignorant failure to appreciate a different perspective, not an intentional insult. Spend time with people who are not lawyers, whose moral compasses are a check on an overly legalistic approach to ethics. They understand more than we do the value of the catchphrase, be kind, not right. As lawyers try to be both. The Gorilla Study comes from Christine Porath's work. She offers career-affirming advice and career-affirming research for those who make an effort to be civil. Managers seen as civil are twice as likely to be viewed as leaders. People are motivated to work harder for a person they consider to be civil. People who share gratitude for another's help are viewed, yes, as more civil, but also as more competent. It is true and often said that people take more to heart what they watch us do than what they hear us say. Before we act, though, we often frame our next steps in our thoughts and in our words. These thoughts spur and hopefully shape our future actions. Perhaps the power of words to influence our behavior is why mission statements and mottos are so ubiquitous here at UT. Walter Cronkite earnestly intoning on game days, "What starts here changes the world." A reminder at eye level on the tower, "Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." An ideal etched above the law school entrance, that they may truly and impartially administer justice. Our court's age-old motto is Sicut Patribus sit Deus nobis. May God be with us as he was with our fathers. I would add mothers to that. It is Mother's Day weekend. It is perhaps a recognition that our court can use all the help it can get. Come up with a motto that works for you, one that encapsulates values that you cherish above all else. Rely on it before you act. Use it to set your default. Until you have one, you are welcome to borrow mine. Save the best part of yourself for the people you love. Law is a noble occupation, but it is just that, an occupation. Your family and your friends who are like family are more than that. They will be with you through career highs and career lows, through joy like today and sorrow. We tend to put our best foot forward for clients, our bosses, when in court and making commencement speeches. Our loved ones know us better than that and love us in all our imperfection. Right, Doug? And so, in the years to come, on the drive home from work, wash away any grouchiness or worry the day has brought and give your loved ones the best part of you. Embrace the chaos of spilled milk and making spaghetti in a navy suit with a toddler on your hip. Marvel in it. Conference days at the Texas Supreme Court are tough. I am grateful at the end when a senior justice opens his back porch to all of us and we look over the Texas Capitol in the twilight. There is an enchantment that comes from sitting on a porch, enjoying each other's company, after an exhausting day. We restore each other's spirits. Try to find the place and the time to be restorative for your family and for your future colleagues. A similar enchantment comes at reaching milestones like this one, where in the blink of an eye, 3 years of the world revolving around the law school gives way to a lifetime of new professional horizons. Hug the people who helped make this moment happen. The continuing complexity of our society sets a tall order for today's law graduates. I have no worries. You are the talented, ethical lawyers we want guiding society's future decisions. We need people like you who seek collegiality even in adversity of opinion or circumstance, and who confront your own weaknesses in a continuing effort to better yourself and your profession. I look around this room, and I can confidently say that you are better lawyers than you think you are. I realize for a few of you, that's a pretty high bar. For everyone else, should a grain of self-doubt emerge next year, stop and say, I am a better lawyer than I think I am. Welcome to the beginning of your professional journey. May grace and peace and a little fun accompany you throughout it. And as a fellow alum of the school now known as Texas Law, hook 'em horns.